Okay, this is still, we're working on number 52. We have it factored. Factors equal 0. Now we're going to set each one equal to 0. So we have 3x plus 2 equals 0. And we have x minus 6 equals 0. So we're going to, this one we'll subtract 2 first. We'll have 3x equals negative 2. Then we'll divide by 3. So here's one of our answers. The other one, minus 6, we're going to add 6. The other answer is 6. Okay, you're not just going to assume both of these answers work. You need to make sure and put them into your original problem with the fractions. Put them into the bottom part to see if it will make the denominator 0. If it makes the denominator 0, you cannot use that as a solution. Okay, our denominators, we had 8 over x plus 2, and we had 8 over x minus 2 is equal to 3. Okay, actually the only things that we wouldn't be able to use for an answer would be a positive 2 here or a negative 2 here. Since neither one of our answers came out to positive or negative 2, we can use both of those answers. So we have a negative 2/3 and we have a 6, both as answers. So on the fractions, make sure that it won't make it equal to 0. But pretty much it's the same thing. You've already done factoring and all that, so it's not too much new stuff. Okay, we're going to jump to 9.2 now, because that's 9.1 is mostly stuff you've seen. 9.2, we have something new called completing the square. Completing the square. Okay. Let's go ahead and just do the part they started out doing. If you have, we don't have to complete the square yet. If we have a problem like x squared equals 6, what would your answer be? To undo a square,
X.
you would do the square root, right? So you have x equals the square root of 6. Okay. Also, you would be able to use the negative. Like square root of 6 comes out to be like 2 point something. So it would be that 2 point something and the negative 2 point something for the answers. Because if you put the negative 2 point something times itself, it would still come out to a positive answer.
So
If you plug it in.
It'll be 2 point the last 3 digits. 2.449, so it'll be 2.4.
Yeah, if you rounded it to the 10th, it would be 2.4. So you could do like 2.4 or 2.45, and it would come out about 6. And if you did the negative of the same thing, it would come out to the exact same answer. Okay, so when you do these, you'll give the positive and negative. Okay, if you have a fraction in front, like if you have 1/3 x squared equals 0. If you multiply by 3 over 1 by the reciprocal, multiply by 3 or 3 over 1, you still have 0 on this other side, right? So that fraction in the front really didn't change anything. You could have had any fraction there. You would have had still ended up with x squared equals 0. The only thing x could be to make it 0 is is 0, right? When you do the square root of 0, it's just 0. So the only thing on this one, the only answer is 0. Okay. Now let's go ahead and work on completing the square. Okay, if you have a problem, x squared plus 10x minus 4 equals 0. If you tried to factor that, it would not work. 4 would be 1 times 4 or 2 times 2. They do not add, or they do not subtract in this case. They don't subtract to give you 10. So what we need to do is we need to take this 4 to the other side, and we're going to end up putting a number here that we can end up factoring. So first of all, we're going to add 4 to both sides. So you have x squared plus 10x, leave a space here, okay, equals 4. Okay, remember the trinomial square where the middle term is doubled the last, the first times last? What plus itself will give you 10? A number plus itself. 5 plus 5, like half of it, right? So you're going to take half of the middle term, and you're going to, when you factor it, you're going to want factors where you have a 5 here and a 5 here. Remember, when you multiply these, it gives you the last term. So 5 times 5 is 25. We're going to want to add 25 to both sides so we can factor this side out. So add 25 here and add 25 to the other side. And if you want to have a general rule for this number right here, what you're adding, you're going to take half of the middle term. The middle term is called b. You're going to take half of that. That's how we got the 5. Take half of it and square it. That's how you're going to complete this square. So this will be the same. Okay? You're going to add half of b squared to both sides. Okay, so now we're going to do this. Adding to get a positive 10, they're going to both be positive 5s. 25 plus 4 is 29. We're going to rewrite x plus 5 as this 2 times here. We're going to rewrite it as the square of x plus 5. Okay, to solve for x, we need to square root both sides so we can get this off. To get the square off, we're going to take square root of both sides. That gets rid of the squared. We have x plus 5 is equal to, you're going to say on here the positive or negative square root of 29. And it's written with a plus and a minus under it. Plus or minus the square root of 29. Okay, so x is almost solved for. Now we need to subtract 5 from both sides. Minus 5, minus 5. We always put this in front of our plus or minus sign. So we have the answers. X equals the negative 5 plus or minus the square root of 29. If this had been a perfect square here, like if it was square root of 25, we would have turned that into just 5.